right, I'll be there in a second. Just realized I forgot to do something. Give me 1 second. Yes, I know it's a blank screen. I'm getting there. Hang on. Why isn't this working? There we go. All right. Here comes my face. Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. It's Monday. I'm back from the weekend, a weekend where I actually got to do very little, which is a good thing. It's not often that I have a weekend where I get to do very little. And so it was a good thing. In fact, if you saw us on, Saturday, we got to do our trail stop stream because we had nothing to do, which was great. Maddie and Ronan joined us, and Maddie's mom, Marta, who offered to make us a Christmas dinner, Cuban style. I'm fired up. I'm just saying, I'm fired up. Y'all know. Anyway, and but then let's see, what did we do after that? We threw some axes. And went and saw a movie, and then Saturday we just binge watched TV and hung out with our dog, and that's about it. So now I got some news to get caught up on. There's news, but I've got things that I've been picking up randomly over the weekend that we're going to talk about. First one, of course, it's Trump's fault. Everything in the world is Trump's fault. You will understand that after we get done with the intro. Johnny, play the intro.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog Studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, yours truly, P. Dog Night.
Yes, let's get into it. On this Metal Monday, stop the music, please. Thank you. Very good. That was good. That was really good. I'm looking at my imaginary producer over there. Anyway, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Night on the internet, and welcome back to the P-Dog Night channel. It's Monday, the 29th of August, 2022, where I have to think about which day of the week we're going to go to the Minnesota State Fair this week, because I will still be, I'm telling you, I keep talking about it. I don't know why, because it's a great state fair. Hey, what happened here? Why am I blurry? Did this thing do this again to me? It did it again, son of a bitch. All right, well, you're looking at this at 720 instead of 1080p. Probably looks fine on your phone. Yeah, whatever. Son of a gun. Well, anyway, I'll have to fix that again because whenever my computer resets, my settings on this godforsaken site, Streamlabs resets. But let me reset the Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day because I forgot to do that too. And let me see. I want to check this. Hold on. Give it a sec. I want to see what this looks like on YouTube. I just want to look. And you can hear my voice for a second. Oh, there we go. Okay, it's not terrible. I just like it when it's crisp and clean and nice and not fuzzy and shit. Anyway. All right. So anyway, Shall we get into it today? Now, I was just checking the Twitter trends. God, I'm getting all kinds of notifications. Thank you. Oh, my goodness. Everyone's sharing the stream. I was going to remind you that. Share the stream and do all that and hit the like button and all that stuff and sponsor. You can sponsor the show at pdognight.live or YouTube Super Chats, however you want. And then put a comment in the comment section. Now, if you have been putting comments in the comment section, I must be hitting big time because there's a little comment troll that has used my avatar and made a what do you call it? Made a YouTube account. Now, it's not my name. It's just some phone number and a WhatsApp. And then they spam everyone in my chat with some WhatsApp. Oh, thanks for commenting. Here's the WhatsApp to call that shit. Don't call that number, and don't even if you don't see my name next to my avatar. No, just fuck off. Report. I've been reporting them, and I'm gonna eventually figure out how to block them. I haven't had a chance to look at that because I don't really block people on any of my. I don't block anybody on YouTube, Twitter, any of the other platforms I'm on, except for those stupid porn girls. I block them every time because it's like, what do? Because you know the ones that so if you're on Twitter, if you're on or some, I don't know if they're on the other social media accounts, but I know they're on Twitter, right? And all of a sudden you'll get some follower, right? Follower with this very professional looking photo as their avatar, and then you look at their profile and they got the sexy picture up there. You know, they got that's not no nude, not naked and shit, but just a real sexy picture. And then but then you realize they have one follower. They're following about 80 people, and they're about 5 are following them because I'm enough to follow them back. And then you scroll down, and you're like, this is some scam. So I just block them all because they're stupid. I don't want fake followers like Elon Musk and Joe Biden. But anyway, I want to say that I do have my preparations. Got the Duke today. Using the Duke. On the back of here, by the way, so I got this cup in what did I get? Winterset, Iowa. In Winterset, Iowa. It's the same. If you've ever seen the movie The Bridges of Madison County, or read the book The Bridges of Madison County, that's the county where the bridges are, the Iowa bridges. Not the only place where there's covered bridges in the United States. There's covered bridges all over the East Coast and blah, blah, blah. But there's these, they had the 7 bridges in Iowa, and the movie The Bridges of Madison County was based on that. Clint Eastwood directed it, and I think it was Meryl Streep. Yeah, Meryl Streep played this woman with a foreign accent, and anyway, it's also the birthplace of John Wayne. Now, not people, it's funny because so many people, young people, have no idea who John Wayne is other than he was a cowboy actor or something like that. But John Wayne was, man, when I was a little kid, John Wayne was still the shit. He really was. He was still, everyone had this thing about John Wayne. John Wayne was supposedly the coolest actor on the planet. Did like 60, 70 movies and mostly Westerns, but also a lot of war movies. And he was just a big damn deal, right? And so Winterset, Iowa was the birthplace of John Wayne. They got the house that he was living in there when he was born, and they got a little museum there, a John Wayne museum. And also at the bridges of Madison County, one of the bridges, there's a little gift shop off the side by the bridge. And I got my John Wayne cup here because it's known for, it was Genghis Khan too. That's true. So anyway, this the back of this cup says, "Courage is being scared to death, but saddling up anyway." So I think that's pretty good. That's a pretty good thing. Anyway, throwing axes. Oh, where was I throwing axes? I see that at the Imagine Theater in Eagan on Cliff Road. There's a theater there. They have a axe throwing gallery there, where they have I think they have 8. Separate, not booths, whatever, stretch where you throw axes, you throw them, and they have targets there, and they actually have an axe throwing league that Lady Boomer and I are thinking of getting into next spring. We can't do it this fall because we're going to be missing a lot of the fall because of our trip that we're planning. But axe throwing, you throw them at literally hatchets that you throw at targets. Woof. And you stick them into the target, and they have the little bullseye there, and then they also have these 2 dots. So you have the bullseyes, you got the 3, the 2, and the 1, and then they got 2 dots up on the sides that are worth 7. If you hit those are worth 7. So anyway, all right, no one listened to Public Enemy. Oh yeah, yes. What's the line? It's what is the line? It's Elvis was a hero to most, but he never meant shit to me. Straight up racist. That sucker was simple and plain. Motherfuck him and John Wayne. That's the famous line from fight the power. Anyway, all right. Let's say good morning to everybody, and then we'll get into some news. How about that, huh? How about some news? First, the chat today, and the procurer of the bell would be Jay Pylon. That's a first. Way to go, Jay. Thank you for being here and for being so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. Also, good morning, Advocatus Diabli, the Devil's Advocate. My favorite Canadian, Jaeger Ponies in the house. Rotten Corpse is here. Tyler F. Ronan, who I had a little breakfast with at the trail stop this weekend. Excuse me, I got to say this correctly. Oh, wait. The next person is Tyrannius Alexandrius Invictus Soul. I don't even know you can hear me because that was really loud. But anyway, Tyre Alexander's in the house. Tyrai Deos, good morning. Also, hello, B. Latvis. Hello, what's happening? John Magnus in the house. Maddie's in the house, who also we joined for brunch with Maddie, Ronan, and Mom. That was fun. Grillin' Pirate Pete's here doing other computer stuff, so we'll be lurking. That's cool. Also, good morning, Aaron Meredith. Did I say Mike Savage? Blarg. You didn't give me a blarg, Mike. The first you... Oh, there it is. Okay, I got you. Mike Savage, blarg. 4 minutes for the chat box to open. YouTube is fucking things up again. Oh, really? I've never heard of that one before. Anyway, also, good morning, Sound Humble Nation. James Colley, Nobody Not Me, and Man Squatch, and now I got to scroll. DMW247 TV. You changed your name. It was something else. You had a different thing on the end of that. But anyway, good morning. Nice to see you again. He's 45 Savage's fault. Okay. Also, good morning to Lord Stanhope, Simon Wolfwood, and I think it's that everybody. That's kind of everybody. Is that everybody? I don't know. It's close. Did I miss anybody? I think we're good. All right. Anyway, so well, I'm curious how y'all's weekend was. Like I said, we had a weekend where we actually had nothing planned, and Lady Boomer and I are like, well, actually, we're going to clean the garage. And that was, the reason we didn't have a plan this weekend is because the garage cleaning plan got taken out by rain. It was raining, and we're like, oh, if we pull everything out of the garage and get all rained on, and then we have to put all this wet shit back wherever we're going to put it. So we said, fuck it, we're going to go have some Bloody Marys and mimosas, do some day drinking, and enjoy some brunch and do a trail stop stream. Which, if you've never been here for a trail stop stream, it's just random stuff. We tell jokes and talk about random stuff, and it's very relaxed, and and then sometimes we don't pay attention to the camera. We just sit there and eat our brunch. But anyway, it's always fun. If you ever want to join us on a Saturday, you'll watch for the notifications. But Monday through Friday, it's this show. And this show where I'm serious. I'm never sarcastic. I'm never, facetious. I never say anything that is not absolutely 100% serious. And we take things seriously here. All right. No, you're going to clean the garage, and Lady Boomer is going to kick back. No, actually, Ty, she was. I actually slept in. Like, I don't usually sleep in. Because I'm used to getting up at 2, 3 in the morning anyway, because working at UPS. So I'm used to being up really early. I actually slept in until 9 o'clock Saturday morning. I was tired as F because I stayed up watching. A movie with Lady Boomer Friday night at home, and then we I was like, usually I'm usually up first, so I'm like, okay, I'll wake you up. When I get up, we'll start cleaning the garage. And I got up, and she was already in the garage clearing some stuff out, and then but she said, it's gonna rain, so we can't do this for very long. And so then we said, okay, well, let's go drink a little bit. So anyway, what else was I gonna say? I can't remember. Y'all having a conversation about rap music up here, huh? I see Chuck D in there. Chuck D is a sellout, fake, and always was probably an agent. He was gathering intel. Oh my God, that's damning. Nas is here. I see talking about Rakim. I say Rakim, as in Eric B and Rakim. P-Dog shot up to stop Lady Boomer from tossing out his precious accumulations. No. No, we need to. No, we can't get a vehicle in a garage. And I don't care if I put the truck in the garage, but I would like to put Lady Boomer's vehicle in the garage because it's a nice car and we need to keep it, protected from the elements and shit. Anyway, all right, enough about my weekend. Sunday, the movie we went and saw Beast with Idris Elba. Is that his name? Is that how you say it? The British brother? Which is a movie about him and his daughters, and they were out visiting where their mother was from in I want to say Kenya, and there was a rogue lion out there trying to kill everybody because it was killing poachers and shit, and somehow Elba and his daughters got caught out there in the bush, and whatever the plain or whatever it is that lions live in, and the lion was kind of stalking them and their friend, and it was an okay movie, but it was really, really, it would have been much just as good to see on Netflix. I'm saying. Anyway, Miss Winnie, good morning. Nice to see you. All right, shall we dance? 1, 2, 3, and let's go. Okay, let's get into some news. Thank you, by the way. Let's see how many people here is. Thank you, Resolute Gem, Somnambul Nation, Man Squatch, Maddie, and everyone who's sharing the stream. Look, if you want to go on Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter, it'll pop up in the links there. If you don't follow me on Twitter too. Share the stream or share the stream on your own social media. There's an arrow right down here somewhere. I think it's about right there, maybe, if you're on a computer right now. I'm not sure how it works on the phones, but hit that share arrow, share the stream out on your favorite social media. I appreciate that. All right, let's get in the news. Things that are trending right now. The Artemis rocket ship that was going to go, I think it was going to go, not orbit the moon, but go on the other side of the moon and back, because we haven't gone to the moon in a long time, like since 1973 or something like that. Well, there's supposed to be this Artemis thing, the launch, that was going to, let's see. Here, I'll just pull up the trending tab here as soon as I can make this work. God, Marty, what are you doing? Artemis, the launch has been scrapped. It was supposed to happen right as my show began. And apparently, launch scrubbed. While I'm excited about a return to the moon, I'm glad to see a focus on safety and success. Always listen to the experts, to be continued. That's Val Demings, the Democratic representative from part of Florida and also running for the Senate in Florida. She's down to who's she running against? Running against Marco Rubio? Yeah, she's running against Rubio, I think. Our console for my first Artemis mission shift. Let's go fly this rocket. Allison with the she, her pronouns, working in mission control. Oh, yes. Way to go, Allison. I'm glad you put your pronouns in your Twitter bio, because that tells me a lot about you. Hello, Selected Boy.
Yeah, boy.
Speaking of Public Enemy. Let's see. So Artemis has been scrapped. I'm trying to figure out, though, setting up our cameras and crossing our fingers, why is it scrapped? Apparently they have some safety issues. This is not a manned flight, though, isn't it? I thought this was one of those automatic flights. Wore my good luck shirt and earrings and everything. Come on, Artemis. Why are these hoes up here talking about Artemis? Did I just say hoes? Oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Anyway, yeah, Artemis is scrapped, but no one's telling me why. Let's see. I'm gonna get the latest here. Let's try what the hell is that? I don't want that on my screen. I should never do this when I'm not. I should never do these beforehand. Oh, they never on my screen anyway. Good. Will somebody please tell me why Artemis was scrapped? No one's really reporting on this. All I see is people tweeting about it. Oh, possible hairline defect. Here's someone who may know. Possible hairline defect in the core booster inner tank flange connected to the SLS, both liquid hydrogen and oxygen tanks, ? NASA calls off Artemis 1 moon rocket launch over engine cooling issue. Well, you know what? Better safe than sorry, I guess. safety issue as a woman was piloting it. Was it? Damn. I'm not going there. Let's see. Styx was just talking about the launch. Was he? Okay. Who cares? No people on it to blow that bitch up. I don't know. It's funny because that usually on these kinds of things, when these happen, all the news media has some tweet about it. Here, let's see. This is 3 hours ago. From NASA. This is NASA, who tweeted live. The Artemis era of exploration begins today with NASA Artemis 1, the first flight test of the rocket and spacecraft that will take humanity to the moon. The launch window opens at 8:33 a.m. Eastern time. That didn't happen. And it's really weird to me how they're presenting it. It's not like we haven't been there before. We just haven't done it in a long time. And I know they're talking about doing a flight to to Mars. At least Elon Musk is talking about that. And I don't know why they're so excited about this. Someone replied even there. So what Apollo 11 did in July 1969 was not the beginning of research then? Or is it just a big theater? Well, it wasn't a big theater. They actually did it, but they did have to. So the visuals that you saw for the landing, I don't know if those are real, but the actual landing was real. But there's anyway. Yeah, all these people tweeted about it, and engineers working through the pre-launch operation. Our 4K YouTube stream will start shortly on NASA.gov Live. Well, let's check out NASA.gov Live. Because none of them, it's funny, none of the media report. Wait, what? NASA Artemis. With Artemis, NASA will. Okay, this is a NASA Artemis Twitter handle. With Artemis, NASA will land the first woman and first person of color on the moon. Take the next giant leap with us. Are you serious? Are they making this? Are they making this a diversity launch? It's like, come on. I don't care. It doesn't. Good God. These people, I swear to God. Septus Willis, good morning. Why can't NASA get this right? They built the damn thing, and they just found out they fucked up building it. Let's get the private sector to do this. They will do a better job. I'm confident that you are correct, Septus Wolf. Do you think... Well, I don't know. I'm not even going to ask a stupid question. All right. So anyway, apparently, here is apparently
at 1:14 a.m. Eastern Time. The team working diligently to get nearly 750,000 gallons of super chilled propellant flowed into the rocket.
So this was
You're looking underneath
this was a
the
while
core
ago,
stage
actually.
now at the 4 RS-25s, where currently engineers are trying to troubleshoot an engine bleed issue. Those 4 RS-25s that you see right there need to be conditioned for launch with a flow of liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. On the liquid hydrogen side, having a little bit of an issue. Engine number 3, which is
so they had
the engine on the right-hand side.
That was the problem. I'm not going to show this. Is 2 hours of video, but if you want to see it, I'll leave the. As I always do, I put everything that we do into a single link in the description down below. It's called a one-tab link in the second paragraph. You click that link, and there'll be links to everything we see. This particular topic on Twitter will be highlighted in one of those links called NASA status. Let's check out the other one here, though. Let's see. What do I do with that? Let's see. Let's go back into the trending tabs, though. Oh, yeah, Keffels is trending. We'll talk about her again. Whatever, again. Anyway, Artemis, NASA scrubs Artemis launch after. Here we go. Here's the Twitter thing. We'll add this to the tabs too. Copy and then we'll get it. Let's get into regular news in a second. So NASA's first attempt to begin the Artemis mission has been scrubbed after an unexpected issue with engine number 3. Through Artemis missions, NASA will land the first woman and the first person of color on the moon. Well, thank God for that. Okay, paving the way for a long-term lunar presence and serving as a stepping stone to send astronauts to Mars. NASA has additional opportunities to launch in early September, but that depends on whether there's enough time to diagnose and fix the problem, according to the New York Times. Safety is always first following today's Artemis launch attempt. Artemis teams are working through an issue with engine number 3 and expect to give a news briefing later today. Stay tuned for broadcast details. Disappointing scrub of the Artemis first launch attempt, but at least we were rewarded by this beauty. So apparently there was a lovely rainbow in the sea outside of Cape Canaveral. I think they're doing this in Cape Canaveral, right? This is in Florida, I'm assuming. Yeah, because I don't think you have that view from Houston. Anyway, all right, so that's what's going on with Artemis. Shall we move on? Enough of Artemis. Also in the, let's fix that. Okay, that's NASA, more NASA. Oh, here's NASA Live YouTube stream. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see what's going on in their live stream. Okay, what are they?
New questions to answer.
Okay, so it's the official
With
live
the
stream, NASA
spacecraft in
TV.
excellent health, NASA twice.
They have a video. They're playing a video. Let's see. Tuesday, August 30th, International Space Expedition 67 in-flight educational event. Oh, this is just a schedule for their NASA TV. Well, if you want to watch NASA TV, I'll have the links too. Let's move on. So, if you're following the Keffels drama, the drama that will not end because Keffels is relentless in attempting to smite thine enemies. So the latest is she's now turning her audience to harass the family of Kiwi Farms owner Josh Moon, not Josh. His mother and crybaby Keffels wants her to lose her job. So Keffels tweeted, "My thread is full of photos of my entire life, and Joshua encouraged it. I posted one photo and did not ask people to harass them. I don't care about your crybaby shit." Yeah, she hit this. What a cute family. Surely his mother will not lose her job because of her son's heinous actions and have to leave the internet. This shit's getting crazy. Hunter Lavalode's jumping in. I hate Kiwi Farms, but once again, Keffels has ruined any chance of agreeing with her mission by posting photos of the family of the man who runs the site. Didn't this just happen to you, Keffels? Didn't you realize this is shitty? There will always be a new low for her. This person is insane. I'm sorry. Keffels is fucking insane. So many people. And also, apparently, the reason Keffels is doing this, Keffels wants to destroy Kiwi Farms because all that documentation of Keffels being a failed fart porn actor who now runs Discord chats to send teenage boys king collars and illegal estrogen that was made in some Brazilian guy's bathtub. Looks really, really bad. So Keffels is one of these people who thinks that, if people want to transition, that children want to transition, she's going to help children transition. She's going to send them some illegal fake HRT or whatever, bathtub HRT. It's just a shitty person. I'm sorry. And look, again, this is one of those disputes where just bring me some popcorn because I want to watch. I wouldn't mind if both these entities fell off the face of the earth for all I care. They're both shitty people. Kiwi Farms, while now some people like Kiwi Farms, it's kind of a gossip and shit on people's site, but this Keffels person is just the worst. So they can go into the dumpster for all I care. This is the internet slap fight dumpster fire that involves 500,000 people at most, because most of the world doesn't know who Keffels and Kiwi Farms are due to real issues like war and recession. Yes, spot on. Get over yourselves. It's embarrassing. So Keffels still has an account on this site, and even though the whole point of Keffels' account is targeted harassment. Yeah, that's the other thing. So there's a reason why this Keffels person is still on Twitter. Because Keffels has the shield of trans identity. And you really, really have to fuck up some shit to get kicked off of platforms right now if you're trans. And so, but surprisingly, now what they've done is they've tried to shut down the Kiwi Farm site. They're just brigading everybody who has an account there, brigading anyone who, who is remotely involved with Kiwi Farms. She went after Medicare. Oh yeah, she went after Medicare too. She went after Medicare. She went after Rakita. I mean, she's going after some big names because anyone who talks about her and doesn't, basically kiss her fucking scrotum. I don't even know if she still has a scrotum. But anyway, whoever doesn't kiss her ass, she tries to take them down too. So I'm taking a chance even by talking about her. But I'm fairly uncancelable. And I'm probably, even if you don't know my doxes aren't a secret at all. And my place of employment don't give a fuck about internet bullshit. So I'm pretty safe as far as that's concerned. In fact, every place that I have income streams from, the only one that probably could be vulnerable is YouTube. And honestly, if I got kicked off YouTube, I have a backup plan. And so I'll find you and tell you where that is. Basically, find me on, if I'm not on YouTube, if you ever find out that I get kicked off YouTube, you can find me on Rumble. You can find me on Odyssey, BitChute. I have channels everywhere, and I'll just eventually you can find me there. Or Live. What's the other one? I have a couple, D Live and Trovo, and I'm in a bunch of different places. Twitch. I'm still on Twitch, although now it's wild though, because who was it that just got kicked off of all their platforms? Who's that dude? Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate just got kicked off pretty much. He got the Alex Jones ending. I mean, I'm tripping because quick, how many Martys are there near Minnesota? 3,304,493. No, there's probably not a lot. See, that's the thing. This is the funny thing about having a name. No, not Taint. Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is a kickboxer who right after Kevin Daniels died. Right after Kevin Daniels died, Andrew Tate started blowing up. And he's been on like the Fresh and Fit guys, and he's just one of these, super masculine guys, right? But he's, he does tell some truth. He does say some truth bombs. But he made the mistake, I believe. He lives in Bulgaria now, and apparently there was an investigation from him doing some sex trafficking or some shit like that, but it turned out to be false, but he was been accused of it. So that's the rumor that goes all over the internet about him. And then the other thing is he's kind of harsh when it comes to feminism, trans ideology, and things like that. And I think he's just a little bit over, well, not over the top, he has no filter. And because he could never filter at all, he became very hated in those communities. And somehow they've brigaded and gotten him off of YouTube. They got him off of his Twitter account. He got his email taken down. He got kicked off of, what's that stupid game? Not stupid game. It was the biggest game for a while. What's the Fortnite? He got kicked off of Fortnite just because they. I'd never heard of him before the dramas. A lot of people hadn't. So anyway, more people I know nothing about. So I'm going to move on. I'm done with internet drama. Let's move on to this one, though. This is the one that I wanted to highlight today because, well, there's a couple things that are happening in internet land, right? Or not internet land, but in the real world. I'm talking about internet land. There seems to be a trend right now. Let me find this on my account first because I mentioned this. Hang on a second here. Let me see if I can find it. I posted a couple articles or screenshots of articles of the new narrative. So the new narrative right now, this is a tuition narrative. That's not that one. There seems to be this new narrative that's starting right now with the media where, wait, let me back up. It didn't really start with it's not a new narrative. It started with Joe Biden, okay? Now, when Joe Biden came into office, like many presidents, Joe Biden would like to blame everything bad in the world that's happening on his predecessor, which happens to be the guy with the funny hair, Donald Trump, right? So anything bad that happens in the world is Donald Trump's fault. And anything that's positive, no matter how minusculely positive it is, Joe Biden will take credit for. So when he's saying that he's blaming inflation on Donald Trump, but he complains that the fact that it leveled off to 8.9%, he takes credit for that, saying, oh yes, there's no inflation in the month of July, even though there was 8.9% inflation. It's probably higher than that. The gas prices go up. He blames it on Donald Trump and Putin and everybody else. But when the gas prices, after hitting record highs, and they didn't come down a little bit, so they wouldn't have been those records, they'd be record highs now. He takes credit for, getting saved another $100 a month on your gas, right? So everything you can blame on Donald Trump, you can blame on Donald Trump, and everything that you good is, God forbid, it's Joe Biden who is making the world great again, without using those words. Well, there was an article this weekend in the Los Angeles Times that this was one of those things, because the media does it too, right? If something bad in the world's going on, it probably has something to do with Donald Trump. Well, this columnist named Anita Chabria has decided to write an article in the Los Angeles Times in which she, wait for just the title alone. the title alone is going to make you laugh out loud. I'm proud. In fact, when I show you this title, put a 1 in the chat if you laughed, and no, actually, tell me the words in the title that made you laugh. I guarantee it's going to make you laugh. It's going to make you laugh. I guarantee it. If it doesn't, then you have no sense of humor whatsoever. Here is the title. Violent crime is spiking in Trump's California. These counties blame everyone but themselves. Okay, chat. Type in the words in this sentence that made you laugh. I'm pretty confident I know what the words are. I'm going to say it's a combination of words in this title that will make you laugh. I'm waiting. Hello. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee here. And good morning, you're a ridiculous lunatic. Oh my God. Yes, you read this correctly. Wait, now let's go through it. We're going to go through this article. I've read the whole thing. I read parts of it because I got this from Ed Morrissey over at Hot Air, and I read his take on it. In fact, I put the Hot Air article up here too, but we'll get to it. Let's read this article. Oh my God. Yes. Trump's California. Yes, I knew that was it. Trump's California. Okay. All right, here we go. Homicides are up across California, and the blame experts are aiming their outrage at the usual suspects. Gavin Newsom, Propositions 47 and 45 for lowering penalties on nonviolent crimes and facilitating early prison releases. Progressive district attorneys. Democrats Now, she could have just ended her article right there, and that would have been perfect. It would have been perfect. That's all you need. That's all you need. That's all you need, right? Oh, but here she continues. But deeper in the data released Thursday by State Attorney General Rob Bonta is a more complicated story. One that defies those easy narratives of a failed California with its relentlessly unsafe efforts at criminal justice reform. The biggest risk for homicides came in conservative counties with iron fist sheriffs and district attorneys, places where progressives in power are nearly as common as monkeys riding unicorns. Oh, well, that's very colorful and racist. Anyway, Kern County leads the locales where your chance of being murdered is greatest, with a homicide rate of nearly 14 people per 100,000 compared with about 6 per 100,000 for a state that has a whole and 8.5% per 100 in Los Angeles County. The number of people annually murdered, a legal term that implies conviction, but you get my point, in Kern has nearly doubled since 2015 to 124 lives last year. I'll get back to that. There's something in that sentence that is very important in this article. I'll get to it shortly. Now, here's where she gets to. Here's where she gets to President Trump. Former President Trump. Oh, wait, let me do this real quick. Thank you, Selecta Boy.
Yeah, boy.
For sponsoring the show, drop in a 5-spot via YouTube Super Chat. Thank you very much for sponsoring the show. Who says, oh, Metal Monday. Sorry, let me get this. Let me get some. Here we go. Metal Monday. Play. Thank you, Select a Boy. Dropping the 5 in the tip jar via YouTube Super Chat. Who says, was the writer sniffing glue when she wrote the article about crime in Trump's California? Select a Boy, I would have to venture to say that she did. Thank you for sponsoring the show. If you want to sponsor the show, YouTube Super Chats and or PDogNight.live right over there. Over there. See that? PDogNight.live. That's where the Streamlabs link is. All right. Thank you very much, South Music. Okay. All right. Now she continues. This is fascinating. She continues. Former President Trump, who legitimately lost the 2020 election, won nearly 54% of the count in Kern. Trump's sycophant and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy also prevailed handily in Kern, raking up 64% of the votes. My colleague Gustavo Arellano profiled Kern County Sheriff Donnie Youngblood, pointing out that he's a dying breed of all old school logman, not one to take the soft approach. Merced County had the second highest homicide rate at 9.5 for 100,000 residents. Merced is a political mixed bag, as a blue wave of Bay Area refugees and political converts have turned this agricultural stronghold into a nearly split county, but one where Democrats are far from shoo-ins to win any elections. So far, notice what she's doing here. She is conflating the fact that the county itself might vote Republican, and the murder rate. Well, she says the homicide rate, but the murder. No, she said murder up here. Now note, she conflated homicide up here, homicide rate. and number of people annually murdered. She's conflating the two. I'm going to get back to that. That's important. That's an important distinction. Third place is Tulare County, running from Delano in the south to a bit north of Visalia, where people were violently killed at a rate of 8.8 per 100,000. Trump took nearly 53% of the vote there in 2020. And McCarthy, who also represents part of the area, took nearly 59% recently after two suspects in a fentanyl bust were released on bail. Tulane County Sheriff Mike Boudreau told Fox News that California's system of justice is failing us all. It's safe to say that none of these counties coddle their criminals. Presidential leanings don't define policy, but they are an indicator of how local politicians and law enforcement think about and handle crime. And yet, not only do these counties share the same problems of dark blue Los Angeles and San Francisco, poverty, homelessness, drugs, they are doing worse in homicides. That's true, even given the fact that a few killings in less populated counties can mean big jumps in year-to-year statistics. Yes, less populated counties. Even a couple new ones can make a big change in your percentages. Anyway, at the other end of the spectrum is Contra Costa County, which has been successful at beating state averages on crime and has one of the state's only, along with LA's George Gascon, openly progressive district attorneys Diane Becton. Despite an unapologetic focus on moving beyond a singular narrative of incarceration being the answer to everything, she told me the county is holding its own when it comes to safety. Contra Costa murder rate increased slightly from last year, but remains around 4 per 100,000 residents. So the idea that progressive policies lead to more violent crime just doesn't pan out, really. Now, any more than the idea that getting tough dissuades criminals. Where does that leave us in understanding the numbers? There are two things we should talk about: guns and NIMBYism, not my backyardism. First, we are swimming in guns, drowning in them. Becton told me there are now more guns in the hands of people than I think in history. In California? In California? Are you serious? Unbelievable. Thank you, Tyre Alexander. Hang on a second here. There we go. Let's do it there. Tyre Alexander dropping a small bullet in the tip jar. Thank you, sir. Who says, Trump is literally the god of the gaps for the left. Why is crime going up? I don't know. Must have been Trump's fault. Trump doesn't live rent-free in their heads. He is whole ass set of connected to the medulla. Yes, he is. Thank you, Tyre Alexander. Response to the show. All right. The vast majority of our homicides and aggravated assaults involve guns. Wait, now, swimming in guns. There are now more guns in the hands of people than I think in history. The vast majority of our homicides and aggravated assaults involve guns. In 1,734 out of 2,361 homicides recorded in California in 2021, the weapon was a gun, a 33% increase in firearm-related homicides since 2012. That means about 75% of the time when a Californian is murdered, the cause of death is a bullet. So-called ghost guns, legal guns, automatics, and shotguns. Automatics? Automatics are legal in California? I had no idea. You name it, someone committed a crime with it. Save me your Second Amendment emails. I have nothing against legal responsible gun ownership. Yes, you do. You're making it clear you do. What are you talking about? You're bringing up guns like they're the worst thing on the planet. Oh, but a lot of people who shouldn't have firearms because they are felons, domestic abusers, have mental health issues, are getting ready to open fire on a large crowd, for example, have them anyway. We make it easy. In California, you make it easy. Are you serious, woman? And you think people should be allowed to have guns, do you? What are you complaining about? Back to things we need to sit down and prioritize the gun problem. And I couldn't agree more. Yes, cops take away guns every day, and we have an armed and prohibited person system meant to help remove illegal guns from about 24,500 people who legally purchased weapons but are no longer allowed to keep them. 24,500 legally purchased weapons but are no longer allowed to keep them. How's that work? Oh, do you have red flag laws? Do you have what's that called? Minority Report rule laws in California? I'm not sure. We also have a problem with our criminal justice reform, just not the one guys like Sheriff Boudreaux target. Oh, here's the key word: racist before reforms, and still our system has locked up people of color at an alarming rate while criminalizing health issues such as addiction and mental illnesses. Okay. Please tell me specifically why you are locking up people of color at alarming rates. Is there a reason for that? Is that like, California is doing this. So you're saying that California is doing this for racist reasons. Is that what you're saying? California is locking up people of color at alarming rates because of racist? Aren't you the ones who are so proud of you're not racist? Help me understand what you're saying here. So the changes we put into place create equity, fairness, and compassion are vital to reimagining a paradigm that for too long crushed not just people but communities. Which communities? Which communities would you happen to be locking people up from? Would it be communities that have, dare I say it, the most crime? I mean, equity. Equity. You're talking about crime, and you use the word equity. So equity means that you would have, equity would have the same amounts or percentage of every people put away for crimes, but what if a certain community has more crime than another community? And I'm not saying racial community, I'm just saying community, period. There's a community here that has this much crime, and then this community here doesn't have that much crime. How do you do equity between those communities? Explain. I don't get it. She said, where we failed is in supporting and implementing those reforms. When someone is released from prison, diverted from jail, or is the victim of a crime, that can't be the end of the story. Hi, T-Ball, what's up? What we lack is capacity to create stability for them. Addiction treatment, mental health support, housing, job training, social workers. It's the same safeguards we lacked in other crises, such as homelessness, all made worse by the pandemic, crushing nearly everyone under stress and pain and exhausting the resources we do have. Oh, gee. You have hello, Kessler, too. You have a governor named Gavin Newsom who probably exacerbated those problems, right? Don't you think? What's your name again? Her name is, what's her name? The hell, why isn't this scrolling? Hang on. Her name is Anita. Anita, do you think your governor may have exacerbated those problems? I don't know. Too much, too fast, too little support is how Yolo County District Attorney Jeff Riesig describes what happened with California's effort at criminal justice reform. He's also the president of the California District Attorneys Association and middle-of-the-road kind of guy when it comes to justice. It doesn't mean we have to send everyone back to prison, but it means we have to do the tweaks to get people into programs like Care Court. He said, calling out Newsom's plan for a system of civil courts to help those with severe mental illness. Okay, I'm fine with that. Are you doing it? Is it working? I'm worried, but I am worried more about the criminals you let go without bail, like in Gascon's Los Angeles County. But she continues, but I'm starting to think we don't want to change as much as we say we do. Most Californians are liberal at a distance, but bring it too close and it just doesn't make sense here. There may be no better example than San Francisco neighbors who last year successfully blocked the conversion of a 131-room boutique hotel into permanent supportive housing for people who were previously homeless. Or what happened a few years in Bakersfield when the local hospital protested allowing homeless people to stay in a hotel in an industrial area because it was too close to an employee parking lot. Oh, you mean because their employees were getting mugged? I remember that. Their employees were getting mugged. So, were you going to provide security there too? Now, if that maybe you would. Now, if you made that hotel a place for homeless people and then provided security for that area, maybe they wouldn't have been so reluctant. But people were getting mugged in their parking lot. That intolerance, yes, I am intolerant to getting mugged, has created an impossible to untangle massive crime, housing, mental health, and addiction that endlessly churns around us. All at heart, different angles of poverty, race, and inequality. People of color are disproportionately among the ranks of our homeless, incarcerated, mentally ill, and addicted. And the vast majority of murder victims are Black and Latino. That is the problem that I like them to focus on. If you really truly care about Black and Latino people, and the vast majority of murder victims are Black and Latino, I know over 50% of all murder victims in the United States are Black. So fix that, but you have to remember they're being murdered by people in their own communities. So, but when you say the vast majority of murder victims are Black, Latino, you want to say that's an equity problem. Well, I don't want equity in the murder rates, unless you're improving or lowering the murder victim rate in the Black Latino communities. But I don't think you really care about that because you don't really want these solutions. You can't be a savior if you have these solutions. She continues, we are faced with either accepting the solutions really are in our own backyards or embracing the so-called pendulum swing back to solutions that sweep the impoverished behind bars where we don't have to look at them or where they can't commit crimes again. And it's not the impoverished. It's the people who commit crimes among the impoverished. Yes, you need to have some solutions for the homeless problem and this booming Biden economy that's just fixing everything, right? Bullshit. Guess how that plays out in conservative places like Kern, Merced, and Tulare, where poor people of color have long been viewed as suspect, and where the poverty rate hovers at near 20%, significantly higher than the state average of about 12%. Everything is not bleak, thankfully. The figures released this week are outdated, according to Mike Romano, director of the Three Strikes and Justice Advocacy Projects at Stanford Law School. Newsom appointed Romano as the chair of California's Committee on the Revision of the Penal Code in 2019. Romano and his team conduct nearly real-time tracking of available crime data in California, so he's already looking at 2022. So far, he's seen the homicides trend down or stay flat in some of our biggest cities. Fresno, he said, has seen a large drop of 29% so far this year. Oakland down 6%. Los Angeles and San Francisco have remained about even year over year. Long Beach and San Diego have ticked up. Other crimes, including robbery, burglary, shoplifting, and arson, were all flat or down across the state in 2021, he said. That's not the same thing I've been hearing. Overall, violent crime in California is at its lowest since it's been in the 1970s and has been that way for at least 10 years. Well, that's true nationwide, but it's uptick in the last 3 years. But it is true. It's been down the lowest across the nation as it has been in a long time. Overall, California has the second lowest homicide rate of any of the 10 largest states after New York, less than half the rate of states including Illinois, Georgia, and Ohio. We are significantly safer than most other big states, even after a decade of major changes to our carceral system. So criminal justice reform may be the easiest focus of blame for why some violent crime is up, but it turns out guns really do kill people regardless of what the right likes to argue. What does that have to do with this article? Holy shit. Thank you to Rydeos for dropping a 5 in the tip jar. And oh, come on. There we go. Oh, God. There we go. Thank you to Rydeos. $5 in the tip jar via Streamlabs, pdognight.live. Over there. Wait, it's over there. I can't remember which way to point. Who says equity is an excuse for people to covet what their neighbors have. There are programs and organizations that are set to help homeless people coming out of prison. The problem is these programs have rules. A portion of these people don't want rules. Yeah, you know, I have to concur. Thank you for sponsoring the show, to Rydeos. Appreciate it. All right. But yeah, it turns out, notice like she wants to talk about guns, right? But didn't you also just say that the homicide rates are lowest in California, as low as it's been since the 70s? So did the homicide rate in the 70s in California, did those involve guns too? I'm going to guess they did, because that's been pretty consistent over several decades, right? But if it's the lowest ever been and you have more guns than ever in California, wouldn't your homicide rate, because of all the guns, be much, much, much higher? What the hell are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. And so does the NIMBYism, though it's uncomfortable culprit today. So here's the thing about this. I want to talk about what she said up here, though, at the beginning of the article. When I said murder, I foreshadowed this point. Actually, let me go to Ed Morrissey's point on this, because he makes the point much better than I. So now, when she took at the stab at the question, she first listed the correct collections of suspects sharing the blame, including permissive softened crime laws and permissive softened crime officials who enact and enforce those laws. But then she sweeps those answers away and reveals the real culprit. Clearly, the wave of killings and other crimes in the state of California are the fault of Orange Man Bad, right? Now, when she first focuses her attention on Kern County, okay, where the murder rate, an important distinction we'll get to in a moment, okay, was 14 people per 100,000 in 2021. And then she compares to Los Angeles County, recorded 8.5 murders. That must mean that all the counties where Donald Trump managed to attract slightly more than 50% of the vote are more dangerous. That's the conclusion she's drawing, right? Then she also points out that Kevin McCarthy represents that area and handily won re-election. So all of the killings are clearly the fault of the House Minority Leader, which does not live in the county. I mean, he lives there, but he's in Washington, right? So now he does the math here. Where do we even start with this? First of all, Kern County has a population of a little more than 900,000, with most of those people found in and around Bakersfield. That may sound like a dense population if you live in a farm, if you live in farm country, but by California standards, it's tiny. The population of Los Angeles is more than 10 million. At any time you see a shift in any sort of statistics in a smaller population of people, the change will be exaggerated on a per capita basis, right? If the number of homicides in Baltimore, population 600,000 plus, goes up from 312 to 318 this year, that's almost statistically insignificant. If the number of killings in a village of 3,000 people goes from 1 to 7, that's a massive increase. There's the point. Then there's the subject of murder rate. And I talked about this earlier, and I know he explains better than I will anyway, so I'll just read his. This is a different figure than the overall homicide rate or the total rate of death by all causes. As Chabria herself admits, the murder rate counts the number of homicides that are solved, resulting in a conviction or the pre-conviction death of the suspect. And you can't look at that number in a vacuum without also looking at the clearance rate in homicide investigations. Kearns County's head count of murders is higher on a per capita basis because they are solving more homicides and locking up the perpetrators. The clearance rate in Los Angeles is pathetic by comparison. So when she counts the murder rate, you have to count what's been proven, done, convicted or pre-conviction, versus all the unsolved murders in Los Angeles. So anyway, that explains that. All right, let's move on. But before I do, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite.
You're a lying dog face.
Wait, no. Let's try that again. Black Hebrew Israelite.
That's right.
There we go. That worked much better. Okay. Let's see what we got here. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite. Drops a deuce in the tip jar. One of my favorite phrases. Who says Artemis is over a decade late, way over budget, even though they're reusing engines from the canceled shuttle program. It is estimated that each Artemis launch will cost upwards of $2 billion. Holy shit. Contrast SpaceX Starship, a couple $100 million. Good luck, NASA. Wow, that's... Okay, wait a minute. Well, first of all, thank you for sponsoring the show. That's some stark numbers. So, for NASA to do the same thing as our friend Elon Musk, each launch will cost upwards of $2 billion for the government to do it, but a couple $100 million for SpaceX. Why aren't we outsourcing this to SpaceX and the, what's Bezos' penis rocket ship that he built? I don't even know what the hell is that called, Blue Horizon or some shit like that. I don't know why they don't do that. Anyway, Kern County is just over 800,000. Los Angeles is 10 million. Los Angeles clears about 10% of their cases. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, if you count the murder rate. Hello, Chicago Mike, by the way. So yeah, that's very the comical. Everything's Trump's fault. The title of the article, though, the title of the article is the one that cracks me up. Trump's California. Trump's California. Holy shit. All right, let's move on. This was not good. So apparently, well, wait. Good is relative in this particular case. This is just from this. This one's from, I guess it's from midnight last night. Not this last night, but the night before. Apparently a suspected, the second word in this sentence, slits throat on Facebook Live after confronted by hunters. I don't know what to think about that. Oh, well, yes. Yeah. Hello, stagehand vet cryptologist. Thank you for joining us today. Is that wrong? A British man slit his throat on a Facebook live stream Thursday after being confronted by that same word, hunters. Can he say? I don't even know if he can say it. Can he get in trouble for saying that? Pedophile hunters? Anyway, the now deleted violent footage reportedly showed the man reaching into his car for a knife and slashing a blade across his throat in a Liverpool parking lot near a police station, according to the Daily News. A 55-year-old suspect survived the apparent suicide attempt and was arrested on suspicion of that other word that you're not supposed to say on social media, rhyme with brooming a child under 14 and possession of a bladed article. What? A bladed article after he was taken to the hospital, officials told the outlet. The report did not identify who exactly confronted the unidentified suspect or who streamed the incident. Oh boy. Well, that's I guess the story is still evolving, but I just feel, what's the word I'm trying to come up with? Oh, well. Anyway, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite. Oops, I see I'm losing my game here. There we go. Let's try this again. We have another sponsor of the show, which I am trying to put the music on for. Damn it. Play. Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, dropping another deuce in the tip jar, who says, equity, maybe she meant they need to arrest the rooftop Koreans for protection over the tax business. That's right.
That's right.
She's trying to justify Democrats' soft on crime policy while trying to blame her enemies, political enemies.
That's right.
MSM is the new Gustavo. I'm sure you meant the other thing, but I'm going to say Gustavo for what do you call it? Stealthiness. The new Gustavo for the state. Yes, they are.
That's right.
Thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show. And you are a great American. Thank you. All right. Thank you. All right. So I feel bad for that. No, I don't. I could give a shit about the guy who sliced himself. If you like to diddle little kids, man, you can go slice yourself. Hello, Resolute Gem. How you doing? All right. Let's move on. There's a Newsweek article. Now, I've been, for whatever reason, over the weekend, Kyle Rittenhouse was trending again. And I don't know if it's part of it was this article, but I don't know if you saw the trial. The myths and false assertions about Kyle Rittenhouse have just abounded all over the internet. And I think we talked about this last week. But then there was this article by Richie McGinnis. Richie McGinnis was a, and I'm not going to read this whole article, but I think the title of the article I absolutely concur with. Bear with me on this. Rich McGinnis was one of the witnesses. He was one of the witnesses who interviewed Kyle that night. He was following around with the camera, got some of the footage that helped exonerate Kyle Rittenhouse, and he put an article in Newsweek, and it got people talking about Kyle Rittenhouse again, which, I mean, constantly happens. And the title of the article is, "I was in Kenosha 2 years ago. Kyle Rittenhouse is not a hero." Now, what the hell? Oh God! What is this trend with putting fat hoes on these swimsuit ads? Anyway, I'm gonna get in trouble. So Richie McGinnis was one of the well, he was a witness for the prosecution. He was on the witness list for both the prosecution and the defense, but the prosecution brought him up first, and I don't think the defense called him again because they got whatever they wanted out of him. So he wrote this article before the shooting started at 11:36 p.m. on August 25th, 2020. I ran into Kyle Rittenhouse in front of a gas station and interviewed him for several minutes. He was a 17-year-old kid with a semi-automatic rifle. He was playing cop surrounded by people who didn't want him there. Now, that's a fascinating statement. Surrounded by it was the people who didn't want him there were the rioters. Okay, I got it. Rittenhouse didn't see it that way. Now he was surrounded by people who did want him there because there was people at the place they were being a deterrent. that wanted him there. But that's a whole other story. Rittenhouse didn't see it that way. So people are getting injured, and our job is to protect this business. And part of my job is to also help people, he told me. For the third night in a row, half of downtown Kenosha was ablaze. When there's somebody hurt, I'm running into harm's way. Yes, he was. He was out offering first aid to people the whole night. There's video evidence of him doing it. Anyone who says that he wasn't is a moron or didn't watch the trial or is just lying or doesn't want to hear it. They don't want to hear it. 13 minutes later, Rittenhouse was standing in front of me, would kill one man. A few minutes after that, he'd kill another. Then he'd maim a third. I took off the Black Lives Matter shirt I chose that night to blend in with the crowd and used it to staunch the wounds of the first shooting victim. Victim. Interesting choice of words. Joseph Rosenbaum, and a very an unsympathetic victim, Joseph Rosenbaum. Stumbling across the street carrying Rosenbaum with another man, my hands slipped on slippery sweat and blood, and we nearly dropped him as we loaded him into the rear of a nearby Dodge Durango. We had to leave the back door open, or the tailgate open, to make room for both of us. One of my arms was gripping the back seat headrest so I wouldn't fall out, and the other was cradling Rosenbaum, bleeding head and back. Protesters kept trying to climb into the SUV. I couldn't see who was punching me, but the blows kept coming. I kicked someone trying furiously, crazily to grab onto the rear bumper as we raced to the hospital. So he was trying to help this guy, and apparently some of the protesters thought he is the guy who killed Rosenbaum, and they were trying to beat him up while he's trying to take Rosenbaum to the hospital. When we finally got there, we stopped at the bottom of the ramp leading to the ER. I tried not to cry as we waited for the metal security door to open. "It's going to be okay, bro," I told Rosenbaum. "We're going to have a beer after this and laugh about it." It was hard to hear my voice over the sounds of Rosenbaum struggling to breathe and gargling blood inside. As we pulled it to the hospital, I watched Gage Grosskreutz slip through its doors. A police officer held his butchered arm. It was a mangled mass of flesh and bone, not fully amputated, but not quite an arm. I didn't know at the time, but Anthony Huber was lying dead on the pavement just outside the hospital. All three of Rittenhouse's victims, he uses this word victim again. I would call them assailants, but whatever. He's writing the story. I'm not going to look. His testimony was one of the keys to Rittenhouse getting off. So I'm not going to, I suppose anyone is shot, whether they're an assailant, they're still a victim of the shot. So I guess that's his choice of words. Rosenbaum, Huber, and Grosskreutz on a little swatch of concrete draped in flashing lights. All four of them, Rittenhouse and the three men he'd shot, were about to be manufactured by the media machine into characters of the people they really were. That is the truth. Today marks 2 years since that night. I was there on assignment for the Daily Caller to cover the civil unrest sparked by the shooting of Jacob Blake, a black man shot by a police officer in the wake of the killing of George Floyd in Minneapolis. Completely unrelated. I wonder how much the editors at Newsweek changed this story. In the months after the Rittenhouse shooting, most mainstream reporters and producers immortalized Rosenbaum as a Black Lives Matter martyr, even though he'd been caught on camera earlier that day using the N-word. Conservatives called him a pedo. He'd been convicted of having sex with a minor in 2002 who had it coming. Meanwhile, to his detractors, Rittenhouse was a white supremacist vigilante and, to his lionizers, a hero standing up for law and order. No. Now, I don't know a lot of people who actually call Kyle Rittenhouse a hero. I think as far as him fighting the charges that were against him, which were clearly should have never been brought because there was plenty of video evidence showing that he was acting in self-defense in all 4 cases where he shot his weapon. Remember, one of them he missed. And the cases where he didn't shoot his weapon, where people approached him, saw the weapon, walked away, and he did not shoot. Trigger discipline. But I never saw him as a hero. I never saw him as a hero. I just saw him as in a way, a victim of the situation where he was forced to actually take the life of 2 people and shoot another. I don't think but the idea that he shouldn't have been there is bullshit. There were hundreds of people all over Kenosha protecting property with guns, not just the group that was Kyle Rittenhouse with. In fact, I showed you a picture last week of a black father and daughter team, father and a 16-year-old daughter, who were also protecting a business in Kenosha that night carrying AR-15s. It wasn't just the white supremacists. There were black people protecting businesses too. And because of the fact that the police were standing down in that city over the prior 2 nights, it was absolutely appropriate. If people took it in their own hands to protect their buildings and be a deterrent, so be it. They had the right to be there. And so did Kyle Rittenhouse have the right to be there. He worked in the town. He had family in the town. He spent most of his time in the town. His best friend was in the town. His sister lived in the town. His father lived in the town. His grandmother lived in the town. He just lived 11 miles away across state lines. Which doesn't mean shit. These cartoonist characterizations were just that, cartoons designed for the algorithm. Everyone and everything was spun, though these partisan lenses, without regard to contradiction or nuance. To give you just one example, soon after the shooting, I went on Fox News' Tucker Carlson and shared what I had seen. Soon after that, CNN's Drew Griffin reported that I'd supported the conservative claim that Rittenhouse acted in self-defense. But there was nothing inherently conservative about that claim. It probably didn't help that I worked for a conservative publication, but Griffin was apparently unaware I had also worked for MSNBC and Al Jazeera, and in 2020 voted for Kanye West and mushrooms. I immediately mailed Mark Dornick, CNN's head of strategic communications, to make it clear that I wasn't towing any party line and asked for a clarification. Griffin, to his credit, invited me to come on, but when I did, weeks had passed and the viewer's perception seemed to have hardened into received wisdom. Rittenhouse could not have acted in self-defense. People appeared tied to an ideologically circumscribed understanding of what had happened. A few months later during the trial, I was called to testify. I tried to be as impartial as I could. When I was asked by defense attorney Mark Richards whether I feared for my life, I said yes. One of the 4 shots Rittenhouse fired ricocheted off the ground in front of me. When I was asked by a prosecutor, Thomas Binger, how could I have known Rosenbaum's intentions? Well, I said, he said, fuck you, and then reached for the weapon. Neither answer was ideological. I was just trying to report as accurately as possible what has happened. Then a month after the trial came Turning Point USA's America Fest, which I think this was dumb, personally, which was streamed on Fox Nation. The organizer invited me to participate. We would like to surprise the audience with Kyle Rittenhouse coming out in person, the invitation said. This will not be announced. Kyle is confirmed. I declined. Instead, I watched the segment, Kenosha on camera from home. Pyrotechnics exploded before a cheering audience of thousands and of the self-proclaimed young conservatives as a surprise guest took the stage. The panelists joked with Rittenhouse about how good his aim was. I felt sick watching them laugh about the man whom Rittenhouse had shot in a used car lot, the guy I promised to get a beer with right before they loaded him onto a gurney, and his terrified wide eyes turned into a frozen stare. Now I understand his feelings here. It doesn't matter. You try to help someone and you know this guy's dies. But look, I think the people who were cheering for Kyle Rittenhouse were cheering because the justice system worked, and all these people that were demonizing him for acting in self-defense, he beat those assholes because the myths of Kyle Rittenhouse, persist completely. He's constantly called a murderer on the social media. They still talk about him crossing state lines with his AR-15, that his mom drove him to the protest, that he had no business being there. A couple people saying he drove 400 miles across state lines to go kill he wanted to go and find trouble. No, he was there during the day cleaning up the mess that the protesters had left. And then he offered to help protect buildings, whatever. But was the audience cheering because he was a hero or because he what everyone saw as a unjust prosecution, he beat it. And that's why people will cheer Kyle Rittenhouse, not because he's a hero, but because he beat an unjust prosecution. That was clearly unjust. It's easy to forget what Kenosha once was, a friendly, sleepy town on the banks of Lake Michigan, a little south of Milwaukee, a little north of Chicago. In its glorious days, it rivaled Detroit as the nation's automotive hub by the summer of 2020. Anyway, there's more in the article. But, he basically makes the point that I've made all along, that he's not a hero, he's not a villain. He's just a actor in circumstance in a very bad play as far as I'm concerned. So you can read the rest of that article if you want. But the point is, he's not a hero. He's kind of a victim of his circumstances. All right. The other things that I was going to get to today, I'm not going to get to, but I got to tell you, there's a story, an opinion piece in the New York Times that you got to read and make fun of, actually, because I was going to make fun of it today, but I ran out of time. It's called Maternal Instinct is a Myth That Men Created. Wait, what? Maternal instinct is a myth that men created. Now, I'll just read the beginning. Around the time that Mimi Niles became a mother, an upstairs neighbor in a New York City apartment building had twins. When the two women ran into each other in the hallway or on the sidewalk, Miss Niles would ask the neighbor how she was faring. Fabulous, Miss Niles remembered her saying, "I'm so happy." Miss Niles was dumbfounded. She was not feeling fabulous in a new motherhood. She was exhausted and anxious. She slept little and cried a lot, even as she worked to bond with her daughter through co-sleeping and baby wearing. She struggled to understand what the baby needed, but Ms. Niles soon discovered that there was little room for that struggle within the prevailing narrative of motherhood or even her conversation with other parents. All around her swirled a near rapturous description of the joys of new motherhood. They all celebrated the same thing, a woman who is able to instantly intuit and satisfy her baby's every need. Oh, bullshit. Look, this article argues that that for centuries there was no sense that human mothers, were nurturing or what's the word they used up here? There was a maternal instinct in mothers, and that the roles of mothers and fathers was something somehow shaped through the Industrial Revolution and all this shit. And the problem with the story, as you read it, as you'll see, I'm not sure how she accounts for the fact that in the entire animal kingdom, mothers in the animal kingdom, I know you can't define what a mother is, the female of the species in the animal kingdom, are the ones who are nurturing and protecting the offspring. In all over the animal kingdom, except for a few exceptions, the mothers do that. And especially mammals, all mammals, the mothers are the ones who mainly take care of the youngins. And the fathers, or the male beasts, are the protectors and providers. But she seems to claim that this is a human social construct, that maternal instinct is not something that happens. So it's a long, long, long editorial. It's embarrassing. She should have never wrote it. So, also in the tabs today, there'll be this girl named Kristen Buttons. I'm talking a lot about the trans stuff because it just shows up on my feed a lot. This woman is talking about gender ideology. It's a great thread talking about how the concept that one has a, quote, gender identity is rooted in sex-based stereotypes that can differ from the body. Is complete pseudoscience that hails from the most intellectually bankrupt sectors of social scientists. There's absolutely no biological basis to support this claim. So what she's saying is, because what they're finding is that, oh, this kid played with a doll one time, must be a girl, must be transgender, right? No, it's not. And so it's a pretty good thread. I'll let you can check that out. There's also another thread from Jesse Signal. The University of Washington, we talked about this last week, how they said a study that puberty blockers and hormone treatments greatly lowered the rate of depression and suicides among transgender youth and adults. But then they figured out that, oh, wait a minute. The study said exactly the opposite, that it did not do that. And but that was after they published these fake results. So there's a thread here by Jesse Signal talking about that. Also, the article by Jason Rance showing that the University of Washington study in partnership with Seattle Children's Hospital claim gender-affirming care via puberty blockers leads to positive mental health outcomes for transgender teen patients. The characterization, however, was false, forcing substantial edits to the materials used to promote the study and prompting the University of Washington to cease promoting the research. Despite all that, the University of Washington communications staff chose to not proactively respond with some pretty concerning claims about the study because it had already received glowing media coverage, according to emails exclusively obtained by Jason Rance of KTTH. So there's some receipts saying that the University of Washington didn't want to tell what the study really said because they'd already gotten some glowing media coverage. They didn't want to upset that. So, plus the media coverage said the right things, even though factually they were wrong, right? So anyway, article on that. And then also, I'm overloaded on this. There's a link to the Parents with Inconvenient Truths about Trans. If you want to read some stories of parents, horror stories, dealing with schools, dealing with doctors, dealing with clinicians and whatever, these are all parent stories about stories written by parents of what their experience was and how shitty this shit's going and how we need to fix it. And I left one article open. So, all right, I got to call it, guys. Wait, let me fix this. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, I got to thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. As you know, wait, stop. Hit the like button. Don't click. Stop. You almost clicked before you hit the like button. Hit the like button first. Thank you. Just do it now. So I don't want you to forget. Just you, not him, just you. All right. Thanks for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. If you like what we do, hit the like button, share the stream on before, during, and after the show. If you're watching on a replay, put a comment in the comment section so I know you're here. And do not respond to the fake Marty that is spamming my comment section. And finally, you can sponsor the show 24 hours a day at pdognight.live right there. 24 hours a day, credit card or PayPal. Also, YouTube Super Chats during the show, if you don't mind giving Susan 30%. And Venmo Cash Apps options are in the description down below. But whether you sponsor the show monetarily or not, I still appreciate you greatly. Real quick before I finish, and thank you to our sponsors, Select a Boy, Ty Alexander, Tarai Deos, Black Hebrew Israelite, and one more time, Black Hebrew Israelite. By the way, Black Hebrew Israelite, with that donation, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Black Hebrew Israelite says... the FBI is now going after people who fight against the media narratives like Gavin McGinnis, Rudy, and O'Keefe. They convinced the couple who found Ashley Biden's abandoned diary in their apartment to plead guilty for violating interstate trafficking of stolen goods. I saw that. Maybe I'll get into that tomorrow. I think I have a clip of the Gavin McGinnis being arrested in the middle of his show for whatever reason that is. And they're coming after O'Keefe. But that whole thing is a pile of bull bucky. So anyway, thank you, Black Israelite, for sponsoring the show. Greatly appreciate you.
That's right.
And ladies and gentlemen, it's time for me to go. I thank you for being here today. That's it. My name's P-Dog Knight. I'll update the link in this second paragraph of the description so that you can see the articles and tweets that I had. My name's P-Dog Knight, and I'm out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, Hey, this is P-Dog Night, and thank you for watching today on the P-Dog Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P-Dog Night, and I'm out of here.